Okay, I'm going to show you how to refinish a blank using Bullard's CP Extra. It's a pre-catalyzed urethane product, and it's every bit as strong as the factory finish. And I'm going to show you how to do it with a brush. A lot of people do a lot of different things, flooding it on and everything. I'm going to show you a real quick, easy way. Now, I've already sanded this blank. You don't want to watch me sand it, but I've sanded it down with wet and dry, and wet sanding it, finishing up with 500 grit, just the Garnet wet and dry sandpaper. Then you clean it off, clean all the dust off of it, and you want to take it down to where you can't see the scratches anymore. And I found that 500 grit gets it just about perfect. The urethane is a thin product. It doesn't build like epoxy, so any scratches you leave in will chase through the finish and you'll be able to see them. Now, a good test to see if the scratches are out good enough is you just wet your finger. In fact, you can just do it with spit. Wet your finger, and that's about the same consistency, so you don't see no scratches there, so it should be good to go. Now, I've also, since you're going to have to spin it in a rod machine, I've marked a couple of spots where guides are going to go. So we're not concerned with that. We can come right up to the wheels and stop, and there's going to be a guide placed over the top of that, so the little holiday that you're not going to have finish is not going to matter. Another thing you'll notice is where the grip and the rear seat and foregrip and the rear grip are going to be. We're not concerned with that either. As a matter of fact, with it, scuffed up like it is here, it lets your epoxy bond better, so you have a better job. Okay, so this one's all sanded and cleaned, and you want your work area, dust free and everything. And the first thing I do is I use a tack rag to make sure right before you start you get all the dust particles off. Even back here where you're not going to go, because you don't want it floating up. Now, you don't press with these things. You just want, okay, we had a little battery issue with the camera, but as I was saying, with these tack rags, it's real important you don't mash down on them and put any pressure on them, because the resins in the thing will get on the blank and stick there if you use too much pressure. So you just need the weight of the tack rag. Get all the dust particles off, and you're good to go. Now, you take and pour some of your CP Extra, or this also will work with Permagloss or some of the other products. I like CP Extra because it's a little bit more user-friendly. It doesn't go off as quick, so it goes on a little smoother. Now, you want to just pour out what you think you're going to need, because whatever you pour out, you don't want to pour back in the bottle, because once it's hit the air and the humidity, it starts to go off. The brushes I use, this one's made by Bullard's. It's a 3-inch sable. This one's an old brush. It's been cleaned out a few times, so I'm not going to worry about the hairs, but if it's brand new, you'll want to take some masking tape and just kind of put the masking tape on and pull it off, and it'll pull out any hairs that might come off. Now, the whole key to doing this is to keep a wet edge flowing on it so you don't get any chatter marks, and the best way to do that is just kind of flood it on. You spin it fairly quick and just kind of flow it on. And it's more of a feel type thing. If you feel any drag on it at all, it means it's getting dry and you need to re-wet your brush. Just mop it on this whole section. Go back over and pick up the high spots. Go all the way down. This stuff is pretty smelly if you're susceptible to getting loaded off of paint fumes or anything. You might want to wear a little mask. Okay, that section's done. Go down to the other section the same way. Just flow it on. You see it spitting off little drips and stuff, that's fine. Just push the puddle down. Okay, you got it coated. Now you go real quick, keep turning it, and you put your machine in dry mode. And just let it slowly spin. Now, a lot of times when you've prepped the blank right, one coat of this is enough. It's not important how much you get on, just put on enough until you get the look you're wanting. Now when this dries, you'll be able to see if there's any bad spots or any little pieces of dirt in it. You want to give it 4 or 5 hours to set up real good, and then before you recoat, take a Scotch pad and just lightly scuff it, just to burr up the surface just a little bit. You don't want to scratch it, and do the exact same thing. Give it 24 hours, 2 days to dry before you start. In 24 hours, this stuff is perfectly hard. You can lay it out and build your rod. By the time you're done building your rod and your epoxy dries, the stuff you can fish it, and this stuff is good for years. And I will turn the video back on after this thing is dry and I've recoated it again and show you that it's every bit, if not better, than a factory finish on a rod blank. So anyway, that's pretty much the way I do it. There's probably other ways of doing it, but this is the way I found this easiest. Now, dump out what you got left in your cup, because by the time this dries to recoat, that'll be cured and hard, so you can't use it. But clean your brush up. I use xylol, but you can use acetone. Clean it up, and that's pretty much it.